Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Bitcoin update. Guys, we discussed a lot in this video. I've just filmed it now and I filmed the intro after I made the video. We discussed short term, we discussed long term, we discussed many topics in relation to the two. Short term, obviously, in terms of a directional move, why Bitcoin is uncertain, why Bitcoin's been in a gray area for a long period of time. But also long term and looking into the ranges on Bitcoin, why have we seen such a long period of 4.5 months of consolidation, and what will that end in? Well, I can tell you right now, we came to a good conclusion in this video. The conclusion of this video was that in August, the month of August, we will see a major directional move on Bitcoin. Again, we haven't seen a major directional move on Bitcoin since March. So it's been 4.5 months since a major move. We've been consolidating. We're going to see the end of that. That consolidation is over. Consider it over. Within the next few weeks, within August, we will see a big break on Bitcoin, and I'm very excited to see it. So we looked into short term, we looked into long term, we looked into the ranges in regards to it, we looked into what we need to be seeing in the monthly candle close in 5 days. There's really, really big decisions to be made on Bitcoin coming up to the end of this month, and a lot of them are going to come to do, with where that move is going to go in August, right? A lot of them have effect on that. If we see a bad monthly candle close, and we could see a very bad August. And August is the time in which we're going to be seeing that directional move. So it's the last thing we want to see. So guys, without further ado, I recommend you stick around for the whole video. There's really, really, really good information until the end and fresh information being brought out throughout the entire video. Let's get into it. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to start by looking at the daily chart, looking at the hourly chart, etc. The short term, really, because I think the short term and the macro are actually two very different things right now. I think the conclusion you can make on short term and macro are extremely different. I don't believe at all that macro is bearish at this point in time. I believe the macro is still very bullish, but short term I think is a little bit up for debate. If we're looking at short term and we just bring up something like the RSI on the daily chart, what we can actually see is that this RSI downtrending line, right? This line that we've actually seen a bearish resistance support flip of, okay? That's why I'm bringing it up. The reason why this line is important is because we actually saw it start forming in January. When was January? Well, January, as you can see on the screen here, was the start of the move. January was the start of a move from the low. Yes, we had the low here. Yes, we bottomed out in November, but ultimately the move only started in January. That's when the move actually occurred. That's when it really kicked off. So it makes sense for that RSI line to start forming there. We saw a retest of this line in April. That was the first retest of the line other than the test in January. And the reason why that's important is because, as you can see, the move started in January. That's where the first retest came. And the move actually topped out in April. And that's where the second retest came. And in fact, we haven't actually surpassed the level, really, at all, that we saw in April at all. We've seen a little bit of a wick high, but ultimately it's the same range that we're in. We're still in the range between 24.5K and 32K. And so ultimately, Bitcoin has done nothing since April on a macro scale at all. It's come down, it's seen a bullish resistance support flip, but that's about it. So that's the second retest of the line, and the third retest of the line was upon the breakout. And we managed to break out upon the RSI line, but it didn't lead to any significant price action because ultimately it got knocked back by resistance. Now, that's pretty bad. We didn't really want to see that. A breakout of this line, presumably at the time of the breakout, was expected to lead to a breakout of 32K. That's just how it works. Usually when you break a resistance line on the RSI, you break the range you're currently in. We didn't actually do that. We saw a double top. So it wasn't particularly good at all. We saw a bullish resistance support flip on the line. We had a second opportunity to break out. We saw it over here and we failed to do so. And so obviously the line broke to the downside. And then a day before the breakdown of this structure, this ascending broadening wedge formation in yellow, you can see we saw a bearish resistance support flip of the RSI, and that led to a drop downwards here. So the daily chart is just weakness upon weakness. That's easy to see. Not entirely. Obviously until April it was pretty good. And honestly, even up until June, it was pretty good because this bullish retracement here was, as I said in the word there, it was a bullish retracement. You come down, you flip resistance. This is a level that we retested for resistance multiple times. We came down, we flipped it for support, we had upwards. That's very, very good. So ultimately, we had very, very strong price action until June, and then this kind of recent impulse just lacked strength. It really did. It just lacked strength, and there's a reason for that. And it's the volume. There was no volume on this move. If you look at the volume back here in Q1, even Q4 in November, around the time of bottoming out, look at all the buying that came in here on this move. Massive amount of buying. The buying supported us the whole way, right? We had a huge impulse of buying throughout this entire move, and on the retest of support here, we had massive green candles bumping us upwards, allowing us to make the jump on this second move. And then ever since April, it's just been dead volume. Really, really bad volume. And that's just an obvious indicator that Bitcoin is just lacking the buying pressure at this point in time. But guess what, guys? It's also lacking the selling pressure, right? Because in order to have strong buying, in order to have a strong trend, an upwards trend, you need to be moving upwards. You need to be seeing ascending volume. In order to have a strong downwards trend, you need to be moving downwards. You need to have a strong ascending volume as well. So if volume is uptrending, the directional move is powerful. Right now, volume's not uptrending at all. Volume has been moving sideways. Let me bring it back up so you can show you. Volume has been moving sideways mostly, in fact, slightly downwards for like 2 or 3 months. In fact, more than that, 3.5 months. So, you know, it's not really a case of the bulls being weak. It's a case of, yeah, the bulls are weak, no one's buying, but also no one's really selling either. So everyone's just kind of stagnant. And then what does that mean? It means that we're in a period of indecision in the market. It means that people don't know what to do. And it makes sense for that being the case, given the range that they're in. It's very important to understand this. It makes sense for that being the case. It makes sense that people don't know what to do here, because we've had 3 ranges since the bottom of the bear market. We had the range between 18k and 15.4k, the red one. We had the orange range between 24.5k and around 18k, the orange one, and we had the yellow range here between 24.4k and 32k, which is the yellow one, right? So we've moved upwards, not only significantly in percentage terms, we've moved upwards 100%, 104% since the bottom, which is a major, major move. I mean, Bitcoin has done undeniably bullish things in the macro scale. We've also moved up, 2 ranges from the bottom. So people are now in a phase in which they've missed kind of the bear market buying. And I think this is really why we're seeing the stagnation in price action. Back here in the orange zone, in the red zone, people were buying because they kind of were getting good prices at the end of the bear market. They're like, okay, yeah, it's the end of the bear market. I can get a good price if I buy here. Now we're 2x up from the lows, right? We're double what we were from 15k. There's no more incentive for people, to do bear market buying. They need to buy for a fresh region. They need to buy for a fresh incentive. And the fresh incentive that you would look at this point in time would be, okay, what's the price going to be at the end of 2025, the end of the bull market? And that's very, very far away. And there's also very little kind of indication of what that price will be. Now, I've made speculations on what the price will be, but that's besides the point. The point is it's a long time away and there's no definitive answer as to what the price will be. So there's I think there's a lack of buying incentive right now. I think that's ultimately it. I don't think that's justified. I think the macro is very bullish. I think it's very clear that Bitcoin will be higher in price this time next year than it is today. Very, very clear in my opinion. But the point is, that it's very clear to understand that, people had incentive to buy down here and over here in these 2 ranges because that was the end of the bear market. It's no longer the end of the bear market, right? It's been, 8 months since the bear market was over and we're up 104%. So the whole like, oh, it's the end of the bear market, here's the time, this is my opportunity, is over. That's probably why we're seeing no volume. We're just a little bit too high to see volume. I also don't think people feel comfortable buying too much after such a large move, but they evidently don't feel comfortable selling either. So it's a little bit of a situation in which neither the bears or the bulls have strength right now. And that's what has made the TA so hard to analyze in this entire range. I think you guys might have noticed that, right? Throughout the entirety of YouTube, throughout the entirety of YouTube videos being made during this time, Twitter analysis, whatever it may be that you watch in regards to cryptocurrency, maybe even your own analysis, you might have realized that it's very, very hard to analyze this range. It has been. Ever since March, actually, short terms have been very hard to analyze. And that unfortunately hasn't stopped yet. I mean, you look at the 15-minute chart, and just look at this chop, guys. Look at this chopping around. It's just insanity, really. I mean, we'll go to the hourly chart to make it a little bit more easy to understand. What happened here? Well, we broke down from the ascending broadening wedge structure, that in yellow. That was a bearish structure. We weren't necessarily expecting a break to the upside from it. There were periods in time where it was hard to identify, but towards the end there, it was very easy to see it was going to break down, and we did mention that on the YouTube channel. And we broke downwards, and now we've come down and we broke below that ascending broadening wedge. We formed straight into an ascending wedge formation, which should have been bearish, but ultimately we actually broke it to the upside because FOMC gave us some random volatility. So we broke to the upside, got back in the wedge, fell back below the wedge, fell back into the ascending wedge. So like, what even is that? It's just ridiculously complex to analyze. Now, what I can say is that even though it's hard to analyze in terms of predictions, it's very easy to understand how to trade it. I mean, what we have here is quite clear. We have a very strongly uptrending RSI support line. If we lose that RSI support line, chances are we'll lose the bottom support line of this wedge, which is unhindered, which is completely valid. And if we lose that, that would be an indication to enter a short position. If we enter a short position there, where is the nearest support? Well, the nearest major support is actually down here at 28.6k. So regardless of where, this is what I mean, right? And I want you to bear with me here. This is what I mean. Regardless of whether it's hard to predict or not, you can still make money. I don't know what's going to happen in the next day in terms of Bitcoin price action. I think it'll probably go downwards. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter what I think. The fact of the matter is, we have an uptrending support line. We have RSI line validating that support line. That's probably going to break to the downside. If it does do so, we have support down below at 28.6k. It's a very easy short position. So you don't actually need clarity. And people don't understand this. People think, oh, you need to know exactly where Bitcoin's going all the time to make money. Not true. You need to have a plan. If you have a plan, and it's a profitable plan, if this happens, I'm going to do this, then you're going to make money. You don't really need to know where it's going. You just need to know when to react. And that's what we've known how to do. And that's what I'm going to continue to show you. But if I was to guess where Bitcoin is going short term, I mean, again, it's difficult, but I would say it's probably going to go downwards short term. I would say... sorry, we're probably going to retest at least this local range here that we retested. But, look, at the same time, if you're looking at daily chart on Bitcoin, we have a bullish a morning star pattern stick formation. A morning star pattern stick formation being we drop below a support line. We drop below 29.6k. All right, and now we've come down. We saw a very strong red candle. We saw a doji candlestick formation, a bullish reversal, and now we're seeing a bullish candle. That is a reversal pattern. That's a pattern that you generally see in fake outs. So at the same time as me saying, oh, we should go down and retest, it really wouldn't surprise me at all if we come back up. That's just the problem with short term. It's just very, very difficult to predict at this point in time. And in this entire range it has been. Because of what I described before, there's no definitive bullish or bearish strength in this entire range. It's very easy to see. No definitive bullish or bearish strength. There's been no definitive trend in this entire range. It's just been sideways consolidation for over 3 months. 4 months now. 4.5 months of sideways consolidation. No clear bullish or bearishness. It's not a surprise that short term has not been hard to analyze. As for long term, we can really get into the nitty gritty of long term because long term is a lot easier to analyze than short term. We don't run into the same problems we have with short term. And the long term, I can list you a few charts here that are extremely important that I maybe haven't listed before. And this is, this one at least, is the 3-day RSI, okay? 3-day RSI is very important, okay? We have a downtrending yellow RSI line, a resistance line, okay, that is stemming back from January 2021. It's actually validating this dotted yellow downtrending line I'm circling right now, this one here, okay? It's validating that. Now, if we break this RSI 3-day line to the upside, okay, we are entering a very, very bullish breakout, and we will likely be seeing a breakout of the 3-day logarithmic line as well, which will lead to very, very bullish price action. That is what we're looking at for a actual break of this trend. An actual break, sorry, not of a trend, of the 32k resistance. If we get this 3-day RSI breakout, if we get the 3-day logarithmic triangle breakout, that would lead to a definitive break of resistance, and we will finally see bullish strength. I'm saying that because it's important. Not, the weird sideways price action where it's a seesaw and no one really has strength. We will see bullish strength that occurs. Now, if we see the opposite, which is a breakdown below this macro uptrending line, a breakdown below the 200 SMA, the 50 SMA, a breakdown below the weekly bull market support band, a breakdown below the weekly 200-week SMA. If we break that line, we break that level at 28k, 27.9k, that's when we see definitive bearishness. So we're in, we're a rock between a hard place, whatever that saying is. We're in the region at the very end of a macro consolidation pattern. I mean, look at this macro consolidation pattern. Bottom side forming since December, top side forming since April 2021. We are at the absolute peak, the pinnacle. We're running out of space to move of this consolidation pattern. We're going to have to see a move very, very shortly. And it's very clear that the short-term range is irrelevant. It's very clear that 31.4k, 31.5k to 27.4k is irrelevant. It doesn't matter where we move. What matters is what we break. Will we break this line or will we break this line? And on the 3-day RSI, will we break the upper line? Now, we're going to be seeing a move extremely shortly, not only because we're having massive compression, that's for sure. I mean, that's compression ending at the end of August. So this month coming up that we're seeing in August, we will see a directional breakout on Bitcoin macro, right, before the end of the month. It really is that simple. Monthly RSI is bullish. Monthly Bollinger Bands is bullish. I'll tell you why. Okay, Bollinger Bands in the monthly chart has only ever compressed twice in history. Okay, yeah, we're talking cyclical history, so twice since 2014, right? And we saw it once in 2016, and that was at the end of the bull market after some upwards price action and before a massive move to the upside. We saw it again in 2020, end of the bull market after some upwards price action, massive move to the upside. We're seeing that level of compression again. Now, the thing with Bollinger Bands is you can see compression for quite a long period of time. It's easy to say, oh yeah, it was compressing, therefore we're going to go upwards and we're going to go massively upwards now again, right? It's easy to say that. But if you look at how long it was compressing for, realistically, Okay, we started compressing on the Bollinger Bands here in June 2015, and we only saw the move really start to kick off in April 2016. So it took basically 9 months, 10 months, okay, from the original compression to the move going. And it's the same can be said about, over here in 2020. I mean, if you look at the start of the compression really started off over here in July 2019, and the end of compression was in October 2020, more than a year later. So we're looking at, we don't necessarily have to blow up right now, but the fact of the matter is we are seeing compression. Historically, that has been bullish. We've been seeing compression for around 2-3 months already. It could go on for a long period of time. We could still go sideways. We could still go downwards. But overall, on a macro scale, this compression has only ever been bullish. And we've only ever seen significant compression after breaking the red horizontal line respective to that cycle. Right now, we have broken the red horizontal line respective to our cycle. We've broken above, 29.3K on the monthly chart. And now, rarely, our objective is to hold it. Right now on a macro scale, we are actually seeing something very bullish. We're seeing a strong resistance support flip. Okay, because look what we did with this line. Look at this red line on the screen here. Let me remove the Bollinger Bands and actually show you. This red line on the screen, what do we do with it? We came upwards to it after a very long bear market. We tested it for resistance. We rejected from it. We broke above it. And now we're coming back down. Look what we're doing right now, guys. We're testing it again. And we're holding it for support currently. And if we do hold it for support, which does rely on short term, in the next 5 days, we'll see a monthly candle close. And if we close right on top of that, there is very, very little chance that Bitcoin drops below it. And there's a very, very high chance that we see within the month of August, a breakout of this structure, and hence a bullish resistance support flip of this line and upwards trend, which would validate the Bollinger Bands on the monthly chart, okay? And show us that we're in fact seeing a repeat of the last two compressions, which leads to an upside move. I think that Bitcoin macro is in an incredibly good position. I think that Bitcoin macro actually shows us a lot more about Bitcoin than the short-term charts right now. As I said, I think the short-term charts are just really just up in the air. But I think that the macro really is very clear. The macro is actually kind of bullish. And yes, we aren't confirmed yet to be going well on the macro. I think we do need to see a few things, such as the monthly candle close above 29.3K. That would be ideal. If we don't close above 29.3K on the monthly, we could be delaying the upwards move for a very long period of time, potentially until the end of the year. But ultimately, I do think macro is strong, and I think there are a lot of indicators to support that we will be breaking this logarithmic triangle to the upside rather than to the downside. But obviously, our reaction shouldn't come until that actually occurs, right? So, for example, if you're looking to buy more Bitcoin, you shouldn't be doing it until this breaks. And if you're looking to sell Bitcoin, you really shouldn't be doing it until this breaks either. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm telling you why the hell... why the hell would you even think of buying or selling in this very, very tight range? What's the point? Why would you not just wait? Buying at 29K instead of 31K, is that going to make a massive difference? Selling at 29K instead of 27K, is that going to make a massive difference? If you're buying or selling here, you're jumping the gun and you're risking getting absolutely scammed on a huge directional move so you can buy in like 10% cheaper or so you can sell 10% cheaper. It's like, it doesn't really make sense to me at all. So no, I wouldn't recommend making any major decisions on Bitcoin until this breaks, and I think it will break very, very shortly. I don't think I'm going to be making videos many videos before it does break. I don't need to repeat myself too many times. This is coming to an end now. It really is coming to an end. Really, it could be any day. Guys, one more thing I want to talk about quickly is FOMC. We saw FOMC occur, 25 basis point hike on FOMC. And yeah, look, FOMC and CPI, we've known this for a long period of time. Yes, we saw some very, very minor price action because of it, as you can see, but realistically, what did we move up? We moved up, 400 USD. It's nothing, guys. It really is nothing. It's 2%. FOMC and CPI haven't really affected Bitcoin for a long period of time. If you remember, back this time last year, you saw FOMC, you saw CPI. It was a major directional thing for Bitcoin. It led to very, very dramatic price action to the upside and downside. Hasn't done that for a while. That's because the correlation between Bitcoin and traditional markets is gone. It's obsolete, right? Now, it could come back, that's for sure, but right now, and since it's been downtrending for 10 months now, and so if there's no correlation between Bitcoin and traditional market, why would a economic event really affect Bitcoin too much? It's really as simple as that. And the fact of the matter is, it doesn't. But if we want to look into it for a second here, we can just see that overall, we've got a 77% chance of no more rate hikes. It's quite a strong possibility that was the last hike. If we do see one, it will probably be one more. I don't see rate hikes continuing into 2024, I'll tell you that much. I think they'll be over by the end of 2023, and I think there's actually a decent chance that it's over already. If it's not over already, perhaps one more. I just don't think it's going to go much higher. I don't think there's justification for it, and I just don't think that's what the market is expecting at this point in time, which overly, at the end of the day, the market's expectations overrides everyone's opinion. So it doesn't matter what you think. I don't care if you think it's going up another full 100 basis points. I don't give a shit. The fact of the matter is the market's expectations know more than anyone. You're not going to disagree with the market. If the market says it's 80% chance no more hikes, it's 80% chance no more hikes. That can change, that's for sure. But who are you to say, oh no, in my opinion, you're nobody. Your opinion doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? And I'll say that to every single analyst. I've said to Warren Buffett. I don't care. That's just the reality of the situation. So, guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope you got an insight on what's going on. Short term is a little bit, skeptical, could go up, could go down. There's no directional trend. Long term is pretty bullish in my opinion, and I think long term we'll be seeing a major directional shift. Within the month of August. So lots to look forward to on Bitcoin, really. I mean, it's been a very, very boring 3.5 months, but really right now, 4.5 months actually, it's getting to the point where it's lots to look forward to. You don't see consolidation for this long of a period of time and then just see boring price action continue. It doesn't happen. We're going to see something here, in August on Bitcoin. I genuinely believe that. Guys, check out the Bitget exchange, 5 times lower fees than Binance, optional KYC. They've got a raffle going on, and you can sign up to the raffle using my link there. It's an exclusive limited time thing, but other than that, I mean, that's just an irrelevant little event that you can get access to. Realistically, what you want on this exchange is for trading. You've got hundreds of coin pairs, you've got non-KYC, optional KYC from anywhere in the world, and very, very low trading fees, and those trading fees are made lower by using my referral link. If you use my referral link, guys, you get access to a 15% trading fee discount on the exchange for life, which makes it actually the cheapest exchange in the cryptocurrency market if you're including that 15% trading fee discount. So get access to that. I've had no problem with this exchange. I've used it for over a year now. I reached out to them for partnership. They did not reach out to me. They've had a rebranding as well, which is exciting. So fresh webpage, fresh everything. Check it out, guys. We've got the Crypto Academy. If you want to learn how to trade, this is the place in which you can do it. Developed by myself and Megawell Crypto, the Become a Trader 10-unit course is a course that teaches people how to trade, quite simply. Teaches people how to analyze charts, teaches people about market psychology, teaches people how to find trades, strategies to trade, everything you need to know, guys. Check that out. 127 students at the moment. Email addresses on the website. And finally, guys, the VIP group. We've seen some very, very bullish trades in the VIP group on Telegram. What is the VIP group? It's where I give you trades in altcoins. I give you targets, I give you entry points, I give you stop losses, and you guys chart them up and trade the coins. And we've, do 3 to 5 coins a week. We've seen some very bullish coins. We've released every single trading result we've ever had in the VIP group in one document. You can find that in the Telegram information group below. 79.8% win rate. That's extremely good. You're not going to get much better than that. Guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next video.